G'day and welcome to Matty's Workshop. First of all, I want to say a big, huge thank you to all my new subscribers. Last I checked, I was up to 466, which is truly amazing. The last few days, it's there's a lot of people really jumped on board, which is absolutely awesome. I didn't ever expect this channel to grow that big. It hasn't been even going for 12 months, so it's nice to know that people like seeing what I do as my hobby. So I am looking at doing a draw when I reach 500. If you're interested in that, just leave a comment and let me know what you think of that idea. I'm sure everybody likes a giveaway. I've got no idea what it's going to be yet, but I'll probably buy something and give it away. As you all know, I'm not one for buying tools. I like to make my own, which brings me to the next project, which is a caliper depth, like the depth attachment, the base bit that goes on the base bit that goes in this thing, you know, digital calipers. So it's the base that goes on the bottom end, so you can, because I've got no depth gauges or anything, so I thought I'll make a jiggy jig to go on the bottom of this. You can buy them, I know, but why buy them when you can build it? So that's what I'm going to build. I've sketched it out in a book. It's pretty wild. Lots of lines and crap going everywhere, but I'll show you that. I'm trying to work out what order to do things in, which I'm not quite sure if I got it right in my head yet or not, but it's just going to be touch, just see what happens as we go along, like normal. I've got a piece of plate here. Got no idea, just a piece of 1/2 inch plate, I think it is. Or 12mm plate. Yeah, 12mm plate, which I'll put in the, I'll probably fly cut it down to dimension, which it has to come, can't remember how thick it's got to be now, I've got it written there, yeah. Basically just neaten it up, tidy it up, make it all shiny and blingy, make it look all good. And then I'll mark it all out and start squaring it up and making the bit. So I'll bring this around and have a look at the book and see if you can understand what I've drawn up. So I'll spin these around now and we'll have a gander. So hopefully you can see that without too much shadow and whatever's in the way here, but so it's 3 inches across. So these dimensions are in imperial and metric as well. So some will be metric, some will be imperial. So it'll be 4 drilled holes, which will give me they'll be 12mm, which will give me the radius on each corner, make it look pretty. This will be recessed out 6mm deep. This portion here will be recessed in just over 3mm. So, and that'll give me and there'll be there's two nuts to be made, or bolts, nuts, retainers made to screw into there. So this here, it's 3mm, or just a fraction over 3mm. So that'll be just, I'll machine that in just by feel and see how it looks when I actually sit it in there. So that'll essentially go into there like that. This here is recessed 6mm, so I can get around this little retainer screw here. So that'll sit down in that hole in there like that, which will be how it goes. So side view here, so that's recessed in here 6mm, just about 3mm deep, a couple of screw holes, just a 45 chamfer on the corners. This I've got to make sure that this base is square with that recess there. That's just one critical thing, but the rest is just yeah, cosmetics really, and getting it to shape. So I'm trying to work out the order of procedure to do this with, which struggling a bit there. But for starters, I'll just go and clean the piece up and then mark it all out, and it'll probably become a bit clearer in my head how to attack it. So over to the mill. Okay, I've got a bit of cardboard here set up. I did have it sitting there. It's probably going to fly away, but anyway, just to stop the chips from going everywhere. So I'll just paint a bit of goulash on here. It's just a braised carbide tip bit thingy. I've touched off. I'm going to mix this up a bit, I reckon. I'm going to do one side in the mill with the fly cutter, and then I'm going to take the time and do the other side with that shear tool in the mill, I reckon. Just see the difference, you know. One's going to be round and one's going to be straight cuts, but just to see what it's like. So smooth as. You can't see it. That's pretty darn smooth. So might go over to the mill now. The mill shaper, and chuck it up, throw it in there and give it a whirl. See what sort of finish we can get now. I've dirtied the mill. So I machined this edge flat on the shaper, square to this edge off the mill. I just measured up. I've got to take about 50 thou off this side here. So I'm going to take about 48, 49, and then I'll hit it with the shear tool again and bring it down to dimension that way. Got a little piece of welding wire here I'm going to stick in behind this jaw. I wanted to get these edges here done before I do this face here, so I'll clamp square in the vise, which is the plan. So I'll get this set up and start hacking it off. Okay, I tried to cut from right to left. Yeah, from right to left. No, from left to right, sorry, whichever way it is. The opposite way to what I did now. And I got terrible finish. I don't know why. So I changed the direction again, back to my old way, and got a beautiful finish. So whether I just had the tool at slightly the wrong angle, I don't know. So stick with the way I know, I think. So I'll shoot for 35mm. You can see it there. Bees doodle over. Anyway, it's close enough. I'll set up to face this side now. Just face the top side. Rightio, we're set up to go again. Touched off, and I'll take just under a 1/10 hour cut just to clean it off. See how that looks. Cleaned up pretty well. I put the shear tool in now and cut speed back and shear tool the top. Just start to touch there now. Let it run, see what happens. That's what we ended up with. Now I did get a couple of little marks on this. As you know, it was a bit longer. I put in the power hacksaw to cut it off, and I thought I wiped the jaws down clean enough, but obviously I left a couple of little bits of crap on there. But that's the finish from the fly cutter, and that's the finish off the shaper. And to be honest with you, the shaper actually feels smoother than the fly cutter. But either either. I prefer the shaper finish myself. I'm going to paint this up now with some Dicam, that whatever you can pronounce that stuff. That it was donated to the channel, which is very much appreciated, along as this book, as well as this book, should I say. I'll paint it all up and I'll get it all marked out, which take a bit of thinking, especially with a brain like mine, and then it'll be good to go. There we go so far. Got it marked out, fair bit of measuring and double checking myself, and I went through all my drills. I've only got 1/2 inch drill out of all that I got. It's got a flat on it, but I can hold it in a collet, which I think will be okay. So they're going to be a 1/2 inch radius. I have got a 12mm ream that I thought about using. I may even do that yet, drill that just below and then just making it to suit a 12mm. I'll just see how it goes, see how it drills. But I think I'm ready to start. I'll go and drill these holes. While I'm at it, I'll drill these as well. These little suckers. They'll probably end up being 6mm, I reckon. I think I'll have enough there. Yeah. And all things being good, square and equal, and I've done everything right, measurements, that should fit into there nice and snug. So there you go. But I'll drill these and I'll use a hacksaw and just cut these excess bits out, then clean them up with an end mill. I think. So the way I found these centre punch marks is, this is just a pointer. I machined up some time ago just for doing this type of stuff. Just bring it down just to locate the holes by eye, which is nothing like a DRO, but anyway, it's not going to happen. So that's the way I do it. I've got a 12mm drill now. Wouldn't that shit you? Goddamn shit. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Oh. Well, I decided to go just for a 13mm hole. Sorry, 12.5mm hole. I had to lift the head up bloody 1/4 of an inch to get clearance, which put everything out of alignment being a round column mill. But I lined it up pretty well, and it's just about, it's as good as touching both scribe lines, so I'm going to be settling with that. I'm pretty happy with that there. So win-win. Now I've got to shift over and do this other sucker. That's what we ended up with. Come out after tea last night. I do a diary every night, so I come out after dinner and fill my diary out and got ginning around, end up drilling and tapping these 2 holes. They're 1/4 28. So didn't get that on film. Anyway, there was nothing on the bloody stupid TV. So I come out and played with this, which I didn't even bring the camera outside of. I was inside downloading all the footage from yesterday on it, so sorry about that. Just drilled them and little counterboard in there, make it look a bit prettier. So I'll set this up in the mill now and clean these faces up. Well, I got to thinking that this is a perfect opportunity to use another tool that I made, which is this one here. This would be the sort of the first real job I've actually done with it as well. So I have done one pass, then I realised I didn't set the angle of the clapper box, and yeah. So hopefully I've got it set right. I've got it set so the end of the travel on the compound is right in a deep, you know, it's not going to interfere with the radius down here. So hopefully, all going well, we'll get a nice, I'm only going to go just run off the lines that I've scribed in there. When I do this side, I'm going to have to paint the other side of it and rescribe the other side, obviously. So I've got a guide to run to, but yeah, why not? Perfect opportunity, may as well use it. So I'll reset the camera up and get you in a bit closer and start hacking away at it. So I'll be able to, I'll do both sides while this is all set up, and then I'll come in and I'll do the bottom bits as well while I'm there. I'll do that, so this will be the first, do these two sides will be the first operation. I'll set back up again, and next operation will be these two flats. And they should be looking pretty grouse. And maybe while I'm at it, is put a 45-degree chamfer with the shaper on these two leading edges here, these two top edges, make them look pretty. Oh, I didn't realise I only had to tip this over a touch and I can do this bottom face as well at the same time. So that was just an absolute win-win. Well, I need another 10th there, I reckon. Just at a guess. We'll give it another 10. This should hopefully be the final pass on this. Now you're just taking a whisker off. And that should be that close to being spot on. Yep, perfect. Take very, very little to get that final little, there's not even really a lip I can feel there. So just a little bit of emery just to smoothen that up, that last little touch, which probably don't even really need, to be honest with you. I'm really, really happy with that. I'll take this part out now, paint the other side of it so I can see it, and do the opposite side. So this is the way I set the compound. I don't rely on the graduations. If you just let the indicator, the level box sit for a second, it'll just hover between the one and the other. So to me, that's good enough as 45 degrees. close enough, I reckon. 0.05 degrees, bugger all in my books. Very touchy little suckers they are, but they're good. It'll do me. I'm going to cut the 45 degrees on the edges of these now, just to break this edge a fair bit, just to make it look pretty, and then it'll be into the mill to cut the guts out. It's pretty much as close as that one over that side. That'll do.